You know, World War II veterans set an example for us too when they came out. Them guys came home when they left. Wasn't any, well, there was a store college, but there wasn't any Newton D. Baker hospitals where they could get jobs
Yeah.
rather than go to the farm and orchards and everything. I think the store college and the veteran hospital in Martinsburg, I think they changed everything when these guys came out because they had government jobs, they could get them, they could work, and they could go to store college, you know. And I think that made a big difference.
You think the GI Bill was the reason for it?
What the
For going to college?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah.
large majority of people went on the GI Bill. All of us went on GI
Yeah.
Bill.
Right. Well, World War II veterans coming back. That's what inspired me to go.
That's what I meant. Yeah, World War
Yeah.
II veterans. Yeah, me too. Inspired me to really get married and have a family and you know and
Get a house.
get a house. Them guys built their own homes, man.
But yeah, I remember we had carpenters, we had bricklayers, we had electricians, had all those people.
Yeah, yeah.
But we don't have that right now.
We had Southwest Street.
Yeah, Southwest Street was like the Wall Street for the black community.
What?
That was the black neighborhood, the black Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Everything was there. Stores, barbershop, clubs,
Yep.
you name it, it was there.
And if you didn't come in town and park your car on Southwest Street somewhere by 3 o'clock in the evening, you wouldn't be able to get a parking spot in that section of town. People would come and park their cars to make sure that they had a place to park. Then they would go down, do whatever they had to do. But man, that place was loaded on Saturday nights. Southwest Street.
So I guess that's the reason why they put that Page Jackson New School down there, right there in the black section, right in the heart of town.
But today we have a lot of deterioration down there.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing, but you go back to the 40s and 50s, probably there always was a film that the parents that their kids going to be better than they are. Their kids going to be much more advanced and have much more better opportunities than they have. But now, it's almost a different story.
Yeah.
Will your kids have a richer life as you had because of unemployment and other problems facing us? And the cost of going to school and the whole ball of wax.
When you look back, we had a good life. If you really look back at it, we could join the Boy Scouts, although everything was segregated. And, had recreation. Mr. Kingdom had recreational activities for us on weekends.
Had the NFA.
NFA.
Well, we had that neighborhood support. Your neighbors would look out for each other's children and everything, and give them that support. And on Sunday, almost everybody would be going to church, and you'd see teachers and principals and everybody at church, and allow them taught Sunday school. So
and we had to go. You can forget you had to go to Sunday school. That's all it is to it. You had to. It was just
if you didn't, you weren't going to go out and play
That's
Sunday
right. That's
afternoon.
right. You had to go to Sunday school.
Yeah.
What I can understand is back then, it seemed like the ministers knew everybody. They knew the kids in my Sunday school, knew the kids in your Sunday school, and they knew the members over there and on the Hill Church. They seemed like they knew everybody in the community. And they would help each other.
Yeah.
It wasn't just
no
secular.
jealousy.
Wasn't no jealousy. Yeah.
No.
I can recall how all the churches used to come together and had these hay rides and go down to where we go down to
Stratosphere.
Stratosphere. Yeah.
Whole town would turn out.
Everybody.
And that hawk had this truck. He would go around different places and meet. Like you go to your church, and everybody in that area would you jump on the truck, then go out, then they come back Dogtown, and take them out there all day long, all day long. Good food. Oh my God.
I worked at every church in Charlestown except for St. Philip. I went to work up on the Hill Church. I went down to your church in Painted because your mother had me down there with y'all, and my church, but never got to St. Philip. But that's the way it was.
Well, St. Philip's probably didn't have time because everything happened. Everything happened at St. Philip's, the parish hall.
Yeah,
We had dances,
oh,
and
yeah.
teens would meet there and everything.
Plays.
Plays, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, there was plenty going on.
yeah. I think integration stopped everything. I still see, but when integration came, it really turned everything around.
Yeah.
People don't want to mention it, don't want to talk about it, but this is the truth. Well, I hate to say it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Held on a little longer. I think that next generation might have been a little bit more progressive than
Yeah.
because we followed the World War One veterans, the World War II veterans, followed everything the way that the World War One veterans did. In the 1920s, African Americans, Jefferson County were rolling. Black farmers. Colored horse show. Stewart College. They really set an example. And everything was really going along smooth. Then the Depression hit us. See? And that kind of, slowed things down. But if it had not been for the Depression, we don't know what those World War One veterans would have accomplished before they died.
Yeah.
Accomplished with us before they died. But then the World War II veterans got right in there and just.
Well, Jimmy, if you're right to a certain extent. You're talking about like the World War One veteran, how they got the horse show and things started. The first one in the country.
Yeah.
First one in the country.
Yeah, first and the only one like it in the United States was the Colored Horse Show in Charlestown.
Well, there was a whole lot of bonding together, I think, during especially the 1920s and 30s, when you had, of course, you had Depression in the late 30s, but you had your Elks, you had your American Legion, you had your Charlestown Industrial Association, you had Horse Show, you had all of these organizations. And when you look back at it, all of them were chartered by the state of West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
All of them.
Mm-hmm.
So it shows you that they want to do things on a, business basis
Right.
and everything.
Right.
But if you look now at what's been formed after, say, 1950 or whatever, or let's say 1960, you don't see that creation of organizations to address certain needs.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
You just don't see it.
how come we made so much progress in this part of the state? And yet at the same time, you stop and think about it, we were held back more on this side of the state because Jim, the other part of the state had high schools already,
Yeah.
and we didn't have it.
No, right.
We were deprived of all
Right,
this stuff,
right.
but yet
Yeah.
it seems like we done made more progress up here than the other part. What do you think?
Well, I think there was a lot of coal mining. That was the industry down in southern West Virginia, and you had more people working in the mines. It's kind of full employment down there, and they had their own high schools. They had lawyers, they had doctors. Bluefield, I think, had a couple of hospitals, early on. But if you go back and you look at what they did, there were a whole lot more people, and the wages were better. Because during that time, you also had creation of a lot of unions. And so the blacks were able to get the same wages, work in the same conditions as blacks. They were working in the coal mines. So I think that's what they did. Plus, they were closer to Ohio, Pennsylvania, and places like that. Not in southern West Virginia were. So I think they progressed a lot like that. And then people coming up from the south, from North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, where there was a lot of black commerce, they stopped in West Virginia, for the coal mines. And then after the coal mines, faded out, a lot of them went on to Detroit and Chicago and places like that. So a lot of those people got, West Virginia mud on their feet. So
The miners' trial in 1920, I was surprised at the number of African Americans that were here for that trial.
Right.
It was a treason trial, so they must have been involved in that treason, against the country. There's a lot of them, man. A couple of pictures I've seen, man. And they had little class. They were dressed nice,
Yeah.
Were they the defendants? Or were they
Yeah.
part of the trial? Or
Yeah, they were the defendants. They were brought here and put on trial, just
Oh.
like yeah. When they got their little army together, to fight against the big coal companies, they wore that red bandana around their necks, just like the white one. That's what they say they got the word redneck from, But the African Americans also wore that. They fought with them. When they came here, they would put on trial right down at the courthouse. But in Jefferson County, this area here,